And I am black.
Now, I'm reading
No.
that because what is to come will show you something completely contrary to what you have been receiving.
Yes, what is to come? What I showed you, this is Paul. The New Testament, this is Paul. That is so far-fetched from what your mind can even conceive, even when you read the books that the Pink Man wrote to change our
Now,
history,
the
our
specific thing
story.
about putting him to death, this miracle of raising Lazarus from the dead, on learning of it, the Jewish council met, and from that day forth they took counsel.
You have to understand about raising Lazarus from the dead. And my Abba also took Nehemiah to also be Lazarus, you know? And my Abba raised him from the dead. That was something that went on one night during a feast. We also had 3 kings from Africa to come in. 3 kings. They came bearing gifts. That night also, my Abba's, his mom and his brother, they desired to see him. Someone came to let him know that his mom and his brother, was standing outside. They wanted to see him because they come in or whatever. Of course, my Abba would let them in, but as they were going to let them in, because at a certain time the doors are locked, so you can get out, but really no one can come in, but you can get out if you like. So my Abba sent someone to allow them in, and my Abba began to speak that we were his mother and his brothers because we did the work of his father, and those that do the work of his Abba, you take wife, those his brothers, sisters, his mother, his father, and all these things, his family. And also, Abba went to the scripture and he talked about the scripture where Mary stood without, and he said, stood without what? Then he said, stood without the knowledge of a child she had. She did not even know that Yahweh, Ben Yahweh, was one that was to come and lead us out of captivity in Egypt. I also look at my Abba as though he is Moses. Because my Abba did lead me out of Egypt. I was in Egypt. They did not have pharaohs, but they had presidents. I did not actually vote. I did not vote, But they had presidents instead of pharaohs. Still, both started with a P. Both set themselves up high. Both are somewhat like a demigod, because they do have the Pope behind them. But behind the Pope is the Queen of England. No one can do anything unless she says so. No one can even say anything unless she says so. Oh, yeah, go and tell the people this. Go and tell the people that. You only see the stink bitch. She comes out doing... Damn, they just took that word from my head, too. I know it has something to do with letting us go. The 7 years, the Jubilee. You see, the Jews, they even changed it to the Jubilee. Like to do Jew believe and all this bullshit that the people write on the paper. I know that they are liars, and I can break through their shit. They thought to put my Abba to death.
If you know the truth about Roman history at that time, and it's an insult to reason if you look at it deep enough. First of all, who would kill a man if he could raise a festering corpse back to life?
A festering corpse back to life. They gave my Abba 18 years in prison to life. However, they let him out in 10 years. And the scripture says that they will hold us in the jails. Maybe not in those words, but that is what it is. And it says 10 months. I was held 10 months. It can be 10 months, 10 years, 10 minutes, 10 seconds, 10 millimeters, or whatever, as long as it is a 10. If you are a part of the nation of Yahweh and you are true, and then they're talking about you are with those bitch people, and you are not with these peace, and they took you and locked you up, even if you stay 10 seconds, that scripture has something to do with you.
I'll be going back to all my peoples.
Well, you will not be going back to all your peoples if they have lobotomized you. And see, they said that he raised up a corpse. My Abba was a corpse. He no longer roared. No one knew, really. anything that was going on with him. He went to Carmel's house, and Carmel does not tell anything of my ABba last days. If she does, it's nowhere on the internet, because I searched the internet to see, if anyone is out there, and I still have not found it. So they had already lobotomized my ABba, and when you lobotomize someone, you make them the way you want them to be. So they made him very timid, and they made him timid, and he was just very quiet. And only a few saw him. Carmel and those that were with her, they're the only ones that saw my ABba. None of us saw my ABba when his corpse rose from out of the tomb, the prison, and he was already, they had already fucked over his mind, lobotomized him. You can't raise anyone anymore if you have been lobotomized. Now they want to laugh. This shit is not funny to me. There you go, my ass. This shit is not funny to me.
If this crucifixion was a fact instead of a fable, it seems odd that the four Gospels contain so many contradictions about this one event.
The reason it contains so many contradictions, I can tell you something about my ABba, but see, I was not actually that with my ABba. And then those who are around my ABba, they can tell you something else. Maybe those who are the elders, they can tell you something else. And maybe someone else, maybe the followers or the supporters, they can write different stories. We all can write different stories, because my ABba has different things to deal with us. The same way it's going on right now with the prophet. The things they say to me, there's too much contradiction. So it's like my ABba and the prophet are kind of the same. They both built for us, and we had our own babies, although I was not at high school, so I had my babies in the hospital, and that was a fucked up thing for me to do. The prophet, he had land, a hospital, we had libraries. The prophet had, we had things in Chicago, just like we had in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We just did not have the oil, and all of that is gone. So it is the same thing, like after they beat the prophet, he had raised up so many, and after they beat the prophet's ass, maybe when he rose up from getting his ass whooped, he was a corpse too, because he died 3 to 4 days later, and they say he died of pneumonia. You died of pneumonia, lying bastards. I hate them. They just lie so fucking much, and everybody believe that shit. They did. I mean, even myself, I went to one of the courts. I went to one of the, what the fuck do you call it? When you go to court, I went to one of them. His court dates. I went to one. They did not allow us to wear a white. We could not wear our diadems. I'm like, what the fuck? This shit is just fucked up. I knew all of this before I went, so I just drove down and I went to see my ABba anyway.
And also a woman wailed and lamented him, Luke 23 and 27. But the other Gospels don't seem to agree. John says that he and Jesus' mother, along with Mary Magdalene, his wife, by the way.
Mary Magdalene is not his wife. And I don't even know where people get that shit from. Do you know when those motherfucking pink triangle boys came and just conquered me in Florida? Do you know those motherfuckers thought my children belong to Yahweh ben Yahweh? I am a Mary Magdalene. I am one of them. There are many of us. None of us are married to Yahweh. But yet, we are Yahweh's wives, and our children belong to Yahweh. This is not a physical thing. This is what you would call spiritual. Not the spiritual, not the way you spell it with an E-L. That means everyone will be in that stupid ass spirit. I ain't talking about spiritual. It has E-L at the end, not A-L, which I am only in the spirit of God, and I am that God. So I am only in my own spirit. It can't be in anyone else's, I just know a little bit more about my ABba than seems anyone.
Mary Magdalene was his wife.
No, Mary Magdalene was not his wife. You see, even Dr. Phil brings about this information. I begin to do videos, and I'm sure in my first videos, I was bringing about this information because a lot of information I did not have. I have a lot of information today, but then there's still information that I don't have. But I'm going to find it. Next month, I will find a lot.
That's another story I'm going to tell you later on to show you how, by the writing that was in Jewish law, Mary Magdalene, based upon everything that they would do, that you said, I have not yet, that things that Jesus was saying, would show you that they were following Jesus' Hebrew law or Jewish law, and that the only rule.
Why do he say Hebrew law and then turn it to Jewish law? It is not Jewish law, it's Hebrew law. He even knows there's no J in the Hebrew alphabet, so why would he change from Hebrew to Jewish? Because we are all on the wire, everyone.
Because of what it is that Jesus was telling her to do. And only the wife would do that.
Then Yahweh Ben Yahweh had many wives. If that's the case. See, and like he said, they're teaching you. This is the shit they're teaching you. They're not teaching me the shit because they know they cannot. They're no longer my teachers. I got rid of them being my teacher when I met Moses Israel. I got rid of them. Fuck you. I do not need you as my teacher anymore. I have a teacher. His name is Moses Israel. And then, you know, he transformed into Yahweh Ben Yahweh. And now I pick and choose who my teachers are. I choose him to be my science teacher.
Matthew denies John's account. Now, John says that he and Jesus' mother, along with Mary Magdalene and two other women, were right at the cross at the execution. That's John 20 and 25.
And they were. This nigga was there. This time Mary Magdalene, because Terry did some video or something, and she said her dad called her Mary. Yes, because you are one of them who were there to hang him. This is what I'm saying. Mary Magdalene, these are just characters and characteristics of us. Well, it doesn't matter. You're going to believe what the fuck you want to believe anyway, and I'll just go on knowing what I know.
This is in Matthew 27 and 56.
27 and 56, wow.
So does Mark of 15 and 40, where the both of them state that Mary Magdalene with other women in Galilee were far off someplace.
Yes. No. I am the Mary Magdalene, and there are others who are Mary Magdalene, and we were all far off somewhere. Because when they brought in the program, they made sure that we will be as far away from my ABba as we can be. How far can you put me away from my ABba? California, where there are 5 grandfathers. Where's my ABba? Florida, you see? I used to be able to drive down to Florida and go to the court dates of my ABba. When they saw me at the court dates, they did not like that. So the adjustment bureau come in and they adjust things. And at this time, I'm really not targeted, you know. And so I'm thinking these are my thoughts. And so I get the hell up out of Dodge, Florida.
Luke says that the women of Galilee stood afar.
Well, someone is woke now. Now he wrote.